Hey, what's going on? Probably a few months. It's Stokely from Sauce on the Lake. Probably a few months ago, I was talking about sucralose and aspartame. You know, those artificial sugars. I think I spoke about stevia also. Stevia comes from a plant. Comes from the leaf of a plant. You also have beetroot sugar, which I've never had. But most of us have cane sugar. And a lot of us, unfortunately, use bleached, white sugar. Bleached cane sugar, So, we already know sugar has so many effects. Causes inflammation. What else? It causes brain fog. What else? Causes your insulin to shoot up. And if you don't use it, you don't use that energy, it gets stored as fat. Stuff like that. But sucralose and aspartame, I once heard, which are fake sugars. You know them as like sweet and low, stuff like that. In a lot of the products that you buy that are like juices or whatever, and they say that they're 0 calories, or say that they're sugar free, they contain these artificial sweeteners. And these artificial sweeteners, at times they're many times more, many times sweeter than regular sugar. So I really don't understand how they say it doesn't add calories, but anyhow, I guess your taste buds are responding to it in a way where you're tasting the sweetness. And now high fructose corn syrup is another sweetener, which we know anecdotally to supposedly contain or be contaminated with arsenic. So people don't like it for that reason, but also it definitely spikes your insulin level. It's probably one of the worst out there. And it's in your soda, and it's in a lot of different things because it's very soluble and it's cheap. But anyhow, what is this now? So the Washington Post again. Washington Post. Now there's another newspaper that I look at sometimes that comes out with some good health information, but this is a legit big name that everybody knows, so it's good to cite them because it gives some legitimacy to the claims of health nuts like myself, which I wouldn't even say I'm a health nut because I eat so much bad stuff. But at times I try to do the right thing. So it says, Washington Post Instagram post says, how fake sugars sneak into foods and disrupt metabolic health. It says, and let me see, I don't think I can read right now. Many people are cutting back on their sugar intake for health reasons, but the food industry has found another way to give consumers their sweet fix. It's doing it by quietly replacing the sugar in many packaged foods with sucralose, stevia, allulose, what's this? Erythritol, and a wide variety of other artificial sweeteners and sugar substitutes. I don't think stevia is synthetic. It's not artificial. To my knowledge, stevia is not synthetic, but maybe I'm wrong. I guess I'm wrong. they wouldn't really publish it if it was wrong, right? If I was right. Low and 0 calories sweeteners have been used in diet soft drinks for decades, but now food companies are adding them to a growing number of packaged foods, including many that might surprise you. Those include bread, yogurt, oatmeal, muffins, canned soups, salad, dressings, condiments, and snack bars. Well, that's not really a surprise, but yeah. Sugar substitutes can be found in ingredients lists on food packages, often with names that many consumers don't recognize, such as Aventane, Neotame, and acesulfame, potassium. What? Acesulfame potassium. Foods that claim no artificial sweeteners are often sweetened with stevia. Okay, so I was right. And other so-called quote-unquote natural substitutes. They put the quotation signal when they said stevia natural. Under an FDA proposal, companies will no longer be able to label a food healthy unless it adheres to strict new limits on added sugars. One way companies can adhere to the proposed rules is to replace added sugars in foods with artificial sweeteners. Scientists used to think that non-nutritive sweeteners were largely inert, activating sweet receptors on your tongues and passing through your bodies without causing metabolic changes. But questions remain about the health effects of consuming large amounts of these ingredients. One rigorous study, I'm about to stop at the stoplight, give me a second. So, they're not inert, they're not harmless, not even sugar is harmless. So the fake sugars, they're not harmless either. Okay, like I said, there's a guy on YouTube who told me that these fake sugars are neurotoxins. Okay, back to the article. One rigorous study last year looked at what happens when artificial sweeteners are consumed below the FDA's daily allowances. It found that they can alter your microbiome in ways that are detrimental to your metabolic health. So that's the conclusion of the article. Even below the recommended sugar intake levels, the artificial sweeteners can alter your microbiome in ways that are detrimental to your metabolic health. Right? So that means, in my opinion, and you can correct me, microbiome, we're going back to like the little germs and stuff that live in your body, the little germs that live in your body. It affects them not in a good way. Not in a good way for you, so that's it. Let's see. This is the caption. Table sugar or sucralose is still the dominant sweetener in the food supply, and eating a lot of ultra-processed foods with added sugar has been linked to chronic illness and obesity. The number of new food products containing sucrose has fallen by 16% in the last 5 years. Use of high fructose corn syrup and agave syrup have also declined. But while scientists used to think non-nutritive sweeteners were largely inert, we already said that. They're not inert. They cause negative effects when it comes to your microbiome. So, so that's really what's going on. So we want to stay away from sugars overall. One way we can do that, if you're gonna have your sugar, especially your juices like me, look for juices that are sweetened with like pear juice, or it's a lot of times they use pear juice to sweeten the to sweeten the juice, because I don't know how they do that. Whatever. They juice the pears, and the pears are sweet, so they use the pear juice And pears are good for you anyway. Pears are good for fighting depression and stuff like that. But of course the juice doesn't have the fiber in it, so you don't get some of the benefits of eating the actual fruit. It's best to eat the actual fruit, but I'm highly likely I'm not gonna do that. I want some juice after I have my meal, my salty meal. I want some juice to wash it down and not feel so tight and congested and whatever. So I want my juice. So but I think pear juice is a good sweetener when it comes to juices, but when you're baking and cooking and all that stuff like that, I really don't know what to recommend. I guess honey might be good. We've been evolving with honey for so many years. Cane sugar, not so much. That's something that came about probably within the last, I don't know, 17 or 400, 500, maybe 500 years, because even making sugar or making sugar cubes requires distillation. So you have to crush up the sugar cane, get the juice out of it, then boil it to get the sugar crystals, which are the precipitate. So I don't think anybody was really using that too much. People were probably using honey or something back then. I really don't know the history of sugar like that. But the artificial sweeteners, they haven't evolved with our bodies over this millennia, over the thousands of years. So they're probably, we probably got to watch them a little bit and see how safe they can be, because there's so many products that we've used and consumed for, I don't know, within the last 100 years, and by the middle of the century, by the 50-year mark, we're realizing, oh, this is no good. This is poison. So you don't find out until a generation, until something is kind of, it's poisonous. You don't find out within the first 5 years or within the first 10 years, because for one thing, people don't really communicate their issues. And sometimes they'll say, oh, it's just old age. Oh, it's just, I don't know, some other thing. It's not that. It's not this. It's not that. Like I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was saying, it might be this. I said, oh, no, it can't be that. How do you know it's not that? Yeah. So, for right now, I would say, for me personally, I stay away from sucralose and aspartame, because people say anecdotally, people used to tell me that it's no good for you, it's poison. And then later on I found out that it's a neurotoxin, and I'm not too smart anyway, so I don't need my brain to be messed up anymore. And I don't even like the taste. I don't like the aftertaste of aspartame. One thing I used to drink that I stopped is Ensure. I used to go for long periods. Well, no, I didn't really go long without eating, but I used to like to drink. I used to like to drink it. I wanted to bulk up sometimes. Sometimes I used it to try to bulk up a little bit. But what I realized is that when I drink Ensure, it had a nasty aftertaste to it that just lingered there, and I realized it was the aspartame. So now I can recognize it whenever I consume something that has fake sugars in it, aspartame or sucralose. I can taste it. When I was a little kid, I used to eat the sucralose packets, which were sweet and low. Sweet and low. We call it sweet and low back in the days. So I used to eat the sweet and low packets. I used to eat regular sugar packets too. Of course, I would sneak and do it. No parent would actually give me that. So, because my family who had diabetes and stuff like that, they would take they would use the sweet and low, thinking that it's less harmful than regular sugar. So I used to eat the sweetener though, and it had a sweet taste, but it was weird also. It was very weird, and I think the weirdness of it is what I enjoyed. But later on, I realized this weirdness, I don't like it. I associate that weird taste with poison. So, yeah, I no longer ate sugar packets or sucralose packets. I probably ate sugar packets up until 3-4 years ago, when I discovered that cutting back on sugar stopped my sciatica pain, stopped the pain in my back, stopped the pain in my side, stopped the pain going down my legs. When I discovered that cutting back on the sugar did that, it was a big boost. And if I eat a significant amount of sugar right now, I feel it. So it's not that whatever the condition is or whatever is not right in my back and down my leg, it's not recovered or cured or whatever. It just responds mostly to sugar, or when I'm exhausted. If I'm exhausted, then if I'm outside doing a lot of work. Anyhow, I'm just riffing right now. I'm just freestyling. I'm sorry to hold you up, but I wasn't really saying much. But I'm just saying that I cut back on the sugar, and I would suggest you stay away from these fake sugars, the high fructose corn syrup. Do your own research, of course, because this was not an exhaustive or in-depth review. I just really wanted to share that Washington Post article about the artificial sweeteners, and it's now relatively unanimous that it's not. It's no good. It's no good. So, thanks for listening.